Okay, note values. So now what we're getting into is using the notation, as you'll see that I'm going to put up on the screen, to how we basically split up and deal with different notes that we will play on the drums. So each bar of music that we play on the drums is split up into different sections and different note values that we can use within that bar. So yeah, so each bar of music is split up. Okay, so if we take one bar of music, as you see on the music stave, we've got the first, if we see that first bar, we've got 4 notes happening, okay? So the best way to think of a bar of music is, I was used to teach this to my younger students, and it makes sense. So if you take this snare drum here and think it's a birthday cake, okay? So this is our whole birthday cake, okay? And this is the whole bar that we're dealing with, the whole bar of music. Now at the moment, it's just sitting there as a whole bar of music, and nothing's really happening. Now what we want to do is, if we split it into 4 equal pieces like that, we now have 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that is splitting up our bar of music into 4. Okay? Now, that is called quarter notes, because basically we have cut up our cake into 4 quarter notes. Okay? Now I'm dealing with, this is the American way of thinking of note values, which I think always makes a lot more sense, because the wording is what it is basically. Quarter notes is, you're literally dividing it into quarters. So how we divide a bar of music up, we just go on from there. So that is our quarters, and then from there, if we want to make 8th notes, which is the next lot, then we would split it up into 8 pieces, and there we have 8th notes. So then we have 8 notes in the same space, in that same bar of music. And then from there, we can split it up again into 16 notes, so 16th notes. And that's basically what we're doing with note values. It's maths. A lot of it is just maths. It's splitting up a whole cake or a whole bar of music into different note value denominations. Okay? So there we have quarter notes, which is 4 notes in a bar, 8th notes, which is 8 notes in a bar, and 16th notes, which is 16 notes in a bar. So those are the 3 main note values. There are lots more, but those are the 3 basic ones that we're going to look at to begin with. And even more basic than that is probably just going to be the quarter notes and the 8th notes. Because 16th notes tend to be quite tricky, because you're squeezing in more notes, so it's going to be more things to play within the same area. Now, a little note on this is that we're talking about a bar of music. Now we need to touch on quickly time signatures, which basically means how many beats do we have within a bar and what value are they. That's what a time signature is. Now, to begin with, we're going to be just looking at 4/4 time signature, which is 4 beats in a bar, which we've looked at, how we've split up our bar into 4. So there's 4 beats. So it's like an equation, 4/4. Okay. The top number means how many beats we're counting, and the bottom number is what type of beat we're counting. So the bottom number, being 4, is quarter notes. Okay. Okay, so we're counting 4 quarter notes. So just as an example of a different time signature, if you were to change the top number to 3/4, instead of counting a bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you would just count to 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Very simple. The time signatures can be tricky, but really, essentially, again, it's just maths. But they're not. They don't have to be really complicated. And one more example of a different time signature. 5/4. You would then just add an extra quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Okay? But don't worry about that. We're just going to be dealing, to begin with 4/4. And most music is in 4/4. It's crazy how much modern music is just in 4. Like, it's not rare, but you know, when you come across time signatures in certain things, it's not as often as you would think. So yeah, that is essentially note values. One more thing with those is that when we're talking about splitting up the bar into different notes, into 4 and then again into 8, how we count the 8th notes becomes slightly difficult. It's not difficult, slightly different. Because we're dealing in 4, it's 4/4. When we split up, we count the quarter notes 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we want to count 8 notes. We don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because we still want to stay within the 4 beats. We actually count it. If we had 8 here, we add an and, so it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and then 16th notes, again we stay within the 4 beats and we do 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, so we're staying within those 4 beats, but what we're doing is we're just splitting up those four beats into smaller segments, so we still have these 4 pieces. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. Should make a bit more sense in the next video, or the one after that, where we actually are trying out this note value exercise.